what's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last 7 days, I've been driving the 2024 Volvo S90 Recharge. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, as well as a plug-in hybrid system, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video because I have spent the last 7 days driving this Volvo S90, and I'll be honest, when I first saw this car on my schedule, I actually told a friend when she asked what car I was getting that week, I said, it's just some Volvo, whatever. And now, having experienced it for over 600 miles in the last week, I couldn't have been more wrong. This has been one of the best sedan experiences I've ever had in my life, and I'm excited to share with you why that is. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that drivetrain, which consists of the Turbo 4 and the plug-in hybrid system. Well, this is a pretty standard drivetrain given to the T8 versions of a lot of different Volvos. We saw it here on the channel in the XC60. We saw it here on the channel in the XC90. We saw it here on the channel in the S60 Recharge from last year. And so it's nothing really too crazy. It still makes 455 system horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Now, you can also plug it in for an estimated 43 miles of all-electric driving, which is awesome. It also uses the electric power to fill in the gaps, so when you pull off from a stoplight, it's nice and easy, it's very smooth, and that's been a big plus of the S90 Recharge. I love driving this car, so much so that, to peel back the curtain just a little bit, when I signed the agreement for when I get one of these loaner cars for the week from a manufacturer, they all have mileage limits, and Volvo's mileage limit is the highest at 750 miles I'm allowed to do in a calendar week. I plan on driving this car until 749 miles are on the dash. I'm dead serious. If that means taking laps around my neighborhood, so be it. I'm going to do it because it's such a comfortable and luxurious experience that I don't get all that often, so that has been wonderful. Helped out, it does have the 8-speed automatic. It's not a CVT or anything like that, and we'll talk about that crystal shifter here in a second. And last but not least, of course, the S90 is all-wheel drive because the electric motor powers 2 wheels and the engine powers the other 2. Very trick stuff from Volvo. So what kind of fuel economy can you expect out of the S90 Recharge? Well, it's amazing. When you have the electronic assist after plugging it in, of course you can get those 43 miles, which is infinite miles per gallon. But if you have it in hybrid mode, it will switch back and forth, and I saw upwards of 120, 130 miles to the gallon because you're mostly relying on electricity. But what happens when you don't have the electric power? Well, on the highway for 4 hours, I went up to Road America. This is the fuel economy that I got, about 32 miles to the gallon, which is 2 miles to the gallon less than my Mazda 3. So even without a charge, this is still a very efficient car with its 4-cylinder turbo. That is wonderful to see. How does it feel to drive the S90 Recharge? It's amazing. It's beautiful and it's lovely. The biggest difference that I noticed and was truly shocked by is the ride quality. Now, this does have air suspension at the back, and so genuinely driving it feels like you're floating on a cloud. So much better than the S60 Recharge that I had last year. And I really didn't expect that. I figured the S60, the S90, they make it a little bit bigger. That's not crazy. But the two vehicles drive completely differently, and I wasn't prepared for that in a very good way. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I do have a completely digital gauge cluster. I like the layout of this, very simple, very easy to read, and you do get a map in the center, or you can take a look at your trip odometer and trip computer, but those are really your 2 options, or you can just turn off the map, but then it just leaves the middle of the gauges blank. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have the adaptive cruise control options that does offer steering assist, and off to the right, we have our voice commands, pages, volume, and skip track. The overall steering wheel is really nice. It's nice to see the tan leather carrying on to the steering wheel. As I've mentioned in other videos, a lot of vehicles that get color interiors don't carry on to the steering wheel, but Volvo does. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, trunk release, and the gas cap release. And moving on to the door, we have 2 memory seat options along with the lock and unlock, and our Bowers and Wilkins speaker. This is a part of a $3,200 option, which I think is worth every single penny. The sound system is the best in the industry for my money, and I love it, love it, love it. But down below, we do have our power mirrors, power windows, and child locks. Moving into the center, we get another Bowers & Wilkins speaker, and we get our touchscreen in the center. So surrounding that, we have the 2 climate vents, but we do have a touchscreen, and this is where everything for the car is ran. Climate controls are all ran through here. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is not wireless. I would have liked to have seen wireless at this price point, but Volvo currently doesn't support that. You can run your heated and ventilated seats through here, heated steering wheel through here, and all of your vehicle drive modes are found in here as well. This is the biggest downside of the S90 Recharge and any modern Volvo product. They all have this same system. I'm not a fan of it. What I am a fan of, however, is it does have a 360 camera, which is lovely, but that's pretty much it. Down below, we do have our hazard switch, defrosters, skip track and play button, as well as the volume knob. And moving into the true center, we have the shifter off to the left. This is the crystal shifter, which is an option here on the S90, and I really love it. I think at night it looks really cool, and I have a soft spot for them. Down below that, we have the start-stop button, which you actually turn to the right to turn the vehicle on and off. Power parking brake and brake hold. Off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, but as with every other Volvo I've ever tested, it also fails. Then we do get a very, very small center console. Don't love this at all, and even my girlfriend laughed at how small this was. However, we do have to talk about the seats. The seats are very, very comfortable. Like I said, they're heated, ventilated, power and memory, and they do have a massage feature. The back is massage, the bottom is not. And I don't want to sound jaded, I don't want to sound pompous, I don't want to sound out of touch. But when it comes to massage seats, I usually prefer that the bottoms are massaging rather than the backs, because it helps keep your legs moving on a long journey, keeps that blood flowing so you don't get up after a 6-hour drive with stiff legs. I'm not complaining at all. I've had a back massage every day of the week for the last 7 days. Not complaining in the slightest. It's just an observation. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, and that's really where you want to be. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2024 Volvo S90 Recharge, and there's a reason I'm sitting on this side of the car as opposed to behind the driver like I do in all my other videos, because this is the seat that you want to be in. Not only is the legroom fantastic back here, I have heated and ventilated seats in the second row. I can also control the sunshade over my rear, and these side window shades from the push of a button down here. And I can also control the sunroof, but my GoPro is currently hooked up to that, and it would get all jammed up if I did that, so just believe me. I do have sunroof controls over here. I also have seat controls for the seat in front of me. So at the push of this little button, I can move this seat all the way up to the dash, which my equipment box is on there. We'll see if it smushes it. Yep. It's starting to squish it. But I can actually stretch out and not hit anything back here. This is truly, truly first class, and it's wonderful. I also have a little ashtray over here. Bowers & Wilkins speakers in the door as well. I have vents on the B pillars. I can control my own climate in there. And pull this down in the center. I have an armrest here, pop-out cup holders, little storage cubby in there. Absolutely love all of this. This is where you want to be, and this is where you want to ride in the S90. It is just, this is first class. This is better than first class, honestly. This is just so good, and one of the coolest parts of the Volvo S90 Recharge. If you drive people around frequently, this is the car to have. Bar none, spare no expense, this is the car to have. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the S90 Recharge, and I got a little bit of beef with this. This does have a power trunk, and you're supposed to be able to kick it underneath, and it'll pop open. It's very finicky, and so what you end up looking like is just a crazy person kicking a stranger's car. Let's see. Oh, there it is. All right, see, that's it. it doesn't really work all that great. Once we are in the trunk, tons of space back here. Really, really nice to see that. This is the wall charger, and we get a 12-volt outlet over there. Some hooks for a net and things like that. Nothing too terribly crazy, but like I said, that kick action doesn't work all the time, but you do have buttons up here to either close and lock or just close. Power trunks are the best, and I love that in the Volvo S90 Recharge. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love it. It's finished in this denim blue, which I also had an XC90 Recharge in this color, and I adored that. I love Volvo's current styling. I think the vehicles look really, really good. And I always forget how long the S90 is. This is a big body sedan, and it doesn't quite look it all the time. But if you get a good side profile, this is the Volvo the long way. It's a long one. So much so that it doesn't really fit in my garage, and my CX-5 fits perfectly. So it's longer than a CX-5. Just something to note if you are looking into purchasing one. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think, having spent the last 7 days and over 600 miles here in the Volvo S90 Recharge? Well, if you can't tell already, I mean, it's been a super positive experience. Let's get the downsides out of the way. I hate the center screen. And I do want to say that this is in all current Volvos, and I have had so far 5 press loans of different modern Volvos. And so, actually no, 6. I forgot about the XC40 Recharge. So I have spent 6 weeks of my life driving vehicles with this screen, thousands of miles with this screen, and I still hate it. Still don't like it. I wish I had physical buttons for the climate controls. The trunk is a little annoying because it should work and it just more often than not doesn't. So that's just annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. With those two things aside, this has been one of the best sedan experiences I've ever had. The power, 455 horsepower from that 2-liter turbo and plug-in hybrid, is amazing. It's so quick. It is fast. That's wonderful. But at the same time, with the plug-in hybrid, over 40 miles of charge, you could drive through a neighborhood so quietly, so calmly. Driving at night is relaxing. It's comfortable because of that electric power. It really, really, truly is the best of both worlds. The interior feels fantastic. The wood on the dash, the nice tan leather, the massage seats, the ventilated seats, the power sunshades in the rear, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system kissing my ears. With whatever song I'm listening to, it has been amazing. Toss in the incredible ride quality, the space. This is an absolute slam dunk that I just wasn't expecting. I didn't know much about the S90 before getting into this, and now I am fully converted into a Volvo lover. I want one of these incredibly bad, and I will say $80,000 isn't that bad, because I compare this vehicle to the Lexus LS that I had last year. Also blue, also tan interior, also had massage seats. I would call that vehicle very comparable to this one in ride quality and features, in just amount that I loved it. And yet this is $40,000 less. You could buy this and a top spec Mazda Miata for the weekends and still be at the same price as the Lexus. That is just something to think about, and something that I've been thinking about for the last 7 days. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Volvo for letting me borrow their S90 for the last week. It has been amazing. Volvo's so great to work with. Huge thank you to Drive Shop, of course, for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you really liked it, but I am going to continue to get a back massage. Take care, guys.